We hear from Mr. Ferrell often throughout the school year just to give us highlights on programs that he teaches and how I think he really interacts and promotes success for all of his students. So I thought it would be fantastic to hear from some of those students that we've heard about the programs and how they participated. So please help me welcome Mr. Ferrell, and he brought 5 students with him today.
Thank you, Shannon, and thank you for having us once again. I do feel like we've been here quite a bit here lately, but it's great. This is going to be the highlight this time instead of me standing up here. So, once again, thank you for having us. And they said they're a little bit nervous today. I said, relax. Nobody's going to chase you out the door or anything like that. But as part of our class, we do have a little segment that we call Your Story, and I bring in past graduates from Hicksville, and they come in and I ask them a number of interview-style questions. The goal for the students is simply at the end, I say, what did these people value? And sometimes they usually come up with some pretty insightful answers. And they'll look at, we've had some folks that they'll come in and, okay, they value a paycheck, and it boils down to finances, and it's a money issue. And we have others that come in, and at the end of the day, after they've told their story and answered the questions, that say they value family. And we see that as a part of just who they are and why they chose that particular career. And then some people who come in, we notice that they value community more than anything. Their chosen career deals a lot with helping other people in the community that they're a part of. And so as you guys are listening to the answers on their question, I would give you the same challenge. What are some of the things that our young people value today? And so some of the questions that I'll ask them will be very school specific. Some of them will be more career specific. We are completely unscripted, so I have no idea what they're going to say as they answer the questions. I did send them a few of the questions in advance because I didn't want them to be nervous about it, but only a couple of them know which questions they're going to get because they made me tell them. So I am going to have each one of them, though, introduce themselves, and if you guys wouldn't mind also, tell them who your parents are and your grandparents, so some of you will know some of them. You're first. That's all right. You can just do parents if you're...
My name is Parker Bassett, and my dad's Brian Bassett. My mom's Jamie Buchernat, and my grandpa's Larry Bassett, and my grandma's Bassett.
Good job.
All right.
My name is Brooklyn Wright. My parents are Hope and Corey Wright. My grandparents are Sandy and Randy Wright, and Rick Sabo and Diana Wood.
Make sure you speak up very loud.
My name's Ava Methvin. My parents are Mindy Methvin and Galen Methvin, and my grandparents are Sandy and Randy Wright.
My name is Colton Adams, and my parents are Amy and Brett Adams, and my grandparents are Linda and Victor Adams.
My name is Trevor Vetter, and my parents are Scott and April Vetter, and my grandparents are Dan and Lorraine Vetter.
Move the microphone up a little bit. I think I have a louder voice than they do, so it'll be more at their height. Since Parker's first in line, I'll ask him to speak just a little bit. Parker, I would like you to tell me or share a little bit about a project or activity in our program that you found particularly exciting. Maybe you can talk about your senior project and what will be coming out to my pasture on Thursday, hopefully.
All right, so my senior project is cows, and so we're getting 2 children cows from Chad Peters, and we are they're coming out on Thursday, and our target goal is like 1,300 pounds, and we're going to feed them out, and we're going to see how much we can get off them from our senior project.
Why did you choose that project?
So we're roofing Miss Ferrell's house, and Miss Ferrell said that there's an empty pasture, and I was like, I plan someday to want to get cows, and I just want to live on a farm. So we ended up deciding that we're going to get cows. And so we ended up building a bunch of fencing, and then mowed down the pasture, worked on getting hay and straw and corn for the cows, and now they're coming out on Thursday. Yeah.
Beef cattle or milk cows?
Beef.
Beef cattle.
Yep. Yeah.
What are you feeding them?
Well, we went and picked up actually expensive feed yesterday. We got some premium corn.
That's my fault. I don't know what I'm doing. Oops.
So, and then hay, and then the corn, and then empty pasture. So, yeah.
No buildings?
What's up?
Is there a building for them to go into?
Yep. Took us a while to figure it out. Yeah.
See, coming on the details. Thank you, Parker. Said it took us a while to clean it out, so we had to clean the barn before we could get the cows. Now I'm new to cattle too, so it's going to be a learning curve for me as well. So we were buying the feed. I'm like, we have to have the best feed. We want these to be really happy cows when we feed them. So I do have a local farmer back home that also is donating a couple round bales to us, and he said, well, we'll help supply you with some of those. So we'll be learning this together. Hopefully we don't go negative on this project. So we'll track our expenses, and then we'll track our final when we take them to actually be butchered, if we can make any money. We're still not sure how we're going to sell them, if it's a quarter or little packages together. There are a couple different models we can use for selling. I think we'll make more making these little beef packs together, selling those. It's easier just to sell them maybe by the quarter or half, so we'll see when we get them all done. So, yeah.
Bring them in here and auction them.
Ooh, that's a good idea. We'll auction them. Could be a better way for us to make a little cash off of them. So, all right. Yes, you can go together. So a number of the students I have here are juniors. Well, I should have gone over that. These two will be seniors. Parker is going to be a senior, and I have two juniors that have just kind of started in with the program. So these guys will be able to answer a few more questions. They're already a year in, so they'll probably want to answer together as well. You can both answer here. Let's go with, what real world experiences have you gained through the work? Tell them the work you've done, and then what real world experiences you've gained from doing that kind of work.
Okay, we both work at the nursing home in Hicksville, so we take care of a lot of the old people. And I think we've definitely learned that we have to work together with everyone that we work with, because you can't put 50 people to bed by yourself and get them all their medication. And yeah,
The job in itself has definitely taught me empathy and sympathizing with others, for sure.
Can you tell them about one challenging moment you had and how you overcame that challenging moment? Remember, have a loss.
okay, obviously being in a nursing home, a lot of people die, so definitely death is a big challenge for us because we're with these people a lot towards the end of their life, and we build a relationship with them and do activities and color with them and stuff like that. So it gets hard when they pass away, but yeah.
And so we talked then when they come back, and actually that was one of my bigger concerns with how are they going to be able to handle the adult world, and that's an adult concept to have to deal with, and so they handled it very well. And I loved Ava's answer with empathy. That's something that we can't teach really in the four walls of a school building, but when you go out into the real world, developing that skill, and I would put these guys as far as their empathy card up against any other nurse working there, and when they get out into the nursing field, I think that will be definitely something that they'll take with them. So my next question for them is this. What is your future career goal then? How is this all going to work out into your future, or is it just the money?
Okay, I plan on going to college to get my RN and be a registered nurse, and being an aide before that really gives me insight of what department I want to be in, gives me like bedside manner, stuff like that. It's not just for the money, it's experience too.
I'm also planning to go to school to be an RN, and I want to eventually work in labor and delivery or peds.
You see anybody out in the crowd you think might be soon that'll be coming real close?
Don't answer that question. You're gonna get me in trouble. Going to work. How do you, and these girls, they have a very busy schedule. They're involved in other things in the school community. So how do you balance your school responsibilities and your commitments at work?
Last year was really easy. We had 2 study halls before any of our classes, so.
Thanks to Mr. Ferrell.
Again, unscripted here, so.
That really helped us a lot, but I mean, we also just stay at work until 8:30 or 9, so we still have time after to do that. We don't work every day, so.
It's also really just communicating with the teachers and your employer on what you think is going to be best.
that's a key thing. Learning to communicate with others is a huge, in the workforce right now, it's a huge deal, you know, and I think when I go out and talk with CEOs from some of the local companies, that is one of the skills that they will say our students don't have, the ability to go in and actually, if they're going to be gone for a day, or if they do need time off, to simply communicate that. I had one industrial leader who said, you know, they would have employees who would come in and need a day off and just not show up and never communicate any of that. So learning to communicate and balance the schedule is a huge skill in the workforce today. So I'll give you guys a little bit of a break. And let's see, Trenton, why don't you step up to the podium?
Sure, are they currently licensed or have any certificates?
Yeah, they did their STNA through Vancrest. So, and I believe you guys, and I said, one of the things as a teacher that I've learned is we'll sometimes make comments like students aren't motivated. These two girls are extremely motivated. How many times did you text me that summer when we were?
A lot.
A lot, yes. And you know, it taught me that when kids have a passion and really want to go for something, they're all in. And so they were able to get their STNA through Vancrest, and they really facilitated that amongst themselves. And so, and I think it's did you have to work so long before 6 months with what? So they had a 6-month contract, and then that paid for their STNA. So yeah, that'll also be a benefit when they go into nursing school for sure. So there's benefits. So Trenton, let's go with, how would you like the agricultural program and work release initiative to evolve over the next few years? And tell them a little bit about your future goals with that as well.
So right now I help Jeff Green farm, and with the ag program I'd like to see more job placement and maybe more work release programs, because for my career that I went through, you can go to college, but doing it and learning it yourself out in the field and everything is where you learn it most of. Just because all the money that goes into it, every piece of ground, even around here, a little bit different. You got to do different things. So that's where I would like to see the program maybe grow a little.
As you've worked with Jeff Green, can you talk about one thing that has been a challenge to you, and then one thing that you think will benefit you going into the career field? Be careful.
We kind of had to learn each other there at the start, which we get along great. He's a really nice guy. He truly is. And so we kind of learned how to get along, what each of us kind of like to do, don't like to do. We swap places. But it's really helped because he started kind of saying, well, you're running this today, so you're the boss of that. And I have to make the decisions and call the shots. So it's really helped.
Can you tell them your future career goal?
I would like to own and operate my own green farm in the future.
So you can see how those types of experiences can really benefit a young person. So, oh, sorry, I called him his brother. I do that all the time. He says my age there just a little bit. Sees all these gray hairs, and it happens occasionally. So it's because the project that you built was for your brother. So tell them a little bit about one of the projects you built your sophomore year, what you did with that project, and what you learned from building that project.
So for one of my projects in the ag program, I decided to build my brother a desk, and I had to learn a bunch of different methods to putting together pieces of wood. I had to learn how to use the correct jig, and I also had to learn how to use wood putty. So just all in all, I had to learn a lot about woodworking in order to do that project. Yeah, and that is easy.
It happens occasionally.
You
Bring my. Oh, go ahead, Larry. Sorry.
Do they have woodworking equipment at the school now or not?
We do. We're still a little bit limited on space and the equipment that we have. So some of it is hand tools. So we start off actually with a hand saw, but some of that's good to learn as well. And then we move up to we have now 2 miter saws. We don't have a table saw yet just because of our facility. We really don't have the space to put that in permanently. And if we do something like a table saw, I would want to have one that when you touch the blade, it goes down now and prevents you from cutting your fingers. So none of this dangerous stuff any longer. So we do have a bandsaw. It's available for the students. We have some router. I just got a router table that we'll make available for our students. And like I said, everything else we pretty much do with a hand saw or like a circular saw that we set up a jig on so that they can make a straight line in place of some of the other equipment that we don't have. So we also have some metal equipment as well. So we have a new welder that Arc Solution donated to us, and we're able to use that. It's a nice new Lincoln welder, and so hopefully this year we'll add a plasma cutter to that, so we won't have to use the hacksaw to do all of our. They'll like the plasma cutter. I've been using one at home to train myself, and that saves a lot of time. And I actually think it's safer than a grinder and cutting with a grinder. So we're increasing the amount of equipment we have, and I'm actually really optimistic. We've increased significantly in just having the program running for 2 years. So I was just out at APT, and we're going to get some industrial equipment, a mill simulator that hopefully we can save what we design on a USB stick and then take it out to a robo mill and they can mill it for us. And then we're doing some electronic simulators too. So we're increasing equipment every single year.
This is in some classroom over there, right?
Yeah, it's in the old bus barn. So if you're ever at a basketball game and you see me there, I would be more than happy to take you out and give you a tour of the facility that we have. Or if you want to schedule a tour, I would be more than happy to take anybody through and show you the equipment we have. So if you kind of go to the service entrance and go back by the dumpsters in the back of the building, there's an old bus barn there. And so that's what we've converted into a classroom. We use that for all of our shop classes. So
It's like the old coach building? The old
Well,
bus barn?
No, it's here, it's the on-site. We had a barn that we were storing buses on campus, so it's just behind the actual building. So it works well for me to make a mess in. So let's bring the seniors back up here. Senior 3. And here's the question, how has this program, or the class that you're taking, how has it changed your perspective either on your career or on the importance, and this is the key part, on the importance of community? One of the things we want to do this coming year is really strive on giving back to the community, and even with our FFA efforts that will be starting this year, a lot of that deals with community and community involvement. So that's kind of a long-winded question, so do you need to think, or are you good? We'll see how Parker does. I knew it would be what was the question? How has the program changed your perspective on either your career goals, life goals, and the importance of incorporating community? It's a hard question. Oh, no, yeah. I like putting you on the spot a little bit. Go ahead, answer how do you?
Alright, so I plan on going to be a Marine, and that's what I want to do first, and then after that, hope to live on a farm. But what it has to do, mine's bigger goals, the nation, and it involves community.
Good answer. So if you didn't hear him, he wants to go into the military, so he wants to be a Marine. We actually talked about that a little bit while he was out on site. And why do you want to be a Marine? What does part of that mean to you? It's what he just said, giving back and protecting the nation. And so that is a huge community service that you provide as somebody who goes into the military. And then coming back and being able to have that farm, raise that, have that family. It is being a part of community, having community around you. So it's actually really good and insightful answer. I'll let you off there a little bit. We'll bring the girls up. Makes it hard for you guys too, but you've dealt a lot with community in what you're doing with those folks. You know them. Or mom. You call her grandma. Yeah.
So the importance of community involvement, I think, has changed a lot when I took this class, and working at the nursing home. So we actually got Mrs. Sandy Zuber to make some cards with us for people at the nursing home, like for Easter, Christmas, New Year's, anything like that. She has all the study hall kids help make cards for the people at the nursing home, and they just love when we deliver them, and we tell them that they're from the high school kids at the school. So that, and then we've also talked about maybe doing a memorial garden up at the nursing home and just taking a class down there. Yeah, they just love kids, and Parker has actually volunteered at the nursing home last year for National Honor Society hours, and they absolutely love him. So many, there's 5 high school kids that work there, and they love all of us, just younger kids.
There you go. So as a teacher, sometimes I get to be the fly on the wall and just listen to them. And it was really interesting for me to hear like these two come in and facilitate having somebody else who's young go in and volunteer. So that was really interesting for me to be able to see. The other thing that I've noticed is with these two, they live in the community. So they know the people who they're taking care of. So, you know, they take care of, and I hear the stories, and oftentimes they will bring me their phone and show me a picture of the people they're taking care of. You know, it's people like, you know, Ann Countryman. They know Mr. Countryman. They know who she is. I think you get a better level of care when you have people who actually know the people who are the residents there. So I've been able to witness that as well. I think that is a community service. Someday when I'm in the nursing home, I hope that somebody like these two are taking care of me. So, all right, now you can go. I took your answer, right? I'm sorry. Sorry.
Brooklyn really hit on everything, but working at the nursing home has taught me that I want to help others in the future, and that'll also help me tie back into the community.
I'm going to give you guys, the clock is winding down here. So do you guys have any questions that you would like to ask any one of these students about the program that they're doing, or what their future plans are? Anything specific that you would like to ask them? I always like to ask them those why questions. Why are you doing this? You always get some interesting answers, because then you really do get to start seeing what their values are. So if there are no questions out there, then I have a couple of why questions that I will ask them, put them on the spot just a little bit, and then we'll wrap up. All right, so let's go with, who do I want to put on the spot this time? Easton, why don't you come up here? Oh, I called him his brother again. Colton, sorry. The Potter boys, I always called them the wrong thing too. I don't know how, I have no idea why. So tell them again what your future goal is, what you want to be when you graduate, or at this point, if you have the ideal, but also explain to them why is it that you want to do that? What is your main reasoning for that? And then actually I'll have each one of you come up and do the why. Why is it that you want to do what you want to do? And we'll conclude with that. Okay? Go ahead.
So once I graduate high school, I would like to go to college for robotics. I just really enjoy like working on robots, and it's just really interesting to me to work on them.
So that's why I work with APT. Next year we will have a FANUC robotics simulator. I think 8 out of 10 robots in industry right now are FANUC, and so we'll be able to have the simulator in our shop that you would maybe someday actually be working on in industry. One of the reasons I like the APT educational equipment is it mirrors exactly what they would see in industry. It's not like a lot of educational materials that you buy and it might have like a banana plug on it to make it easy for the kids. It is exactly what they'll see when they walk into any manufacturing facility. Thank you. Parker's kind of answered that, but we'll still let him kind of repeat that a little bit.
Why?
Yeah, just why is it that, in your words instead of mine, why do you want to go into the military or raise cattle in your words?
Well, actually, Miss Ferrell's pretty, when I get a deal with him that I would try to be someday, because Miss Ferrell's, he does everything for the community. He's a great dude, and he keeps on teaching me day by day different things. I actually went out to APT and I did, spent 6 weeks out there and worked out in the industry, like a factory, to see if maybe that's what I would do, want to do someday. But I decided to go to the military because I don't think college is for me. I mean, sometime down the road, I might go to college, but the real reason is because I got to choose something, and I think military would be great. And I feel like it's a respectable thing to do, so I chose the one degree.
Parker, what would you like to do in the military? Where would your niche be in your eyes today?
So probably something mechanical in the Marines, because I did spend time at APT milling and welding, and I mean, I would hate being like out on the battlefield. That's what it, but
So you can be honest. He wants to be a front linesman. You can say that. So. But he is gifted in mechanical areas. He's a gifted young man. So he has many talents that he would bring to the military, or really any field that he would go into. Thanks, Bart. He also brings up another good point, the idea that we do need adults and mentors out even in the school. One of our goals, so if anybody ever wants to come and work in the garden and volunteer a little bit of time out at the school, I would be more than happy to take that phone call to have you out to work with our kids, especially in the gardening area, because I'm not great at that. And some of the agricultural sides of this job, the industrial side I really enjoy learning. Some of the agricultural parts of it I'm learning right along with them. So this cow venture will be very interesting for me. I said when the cows get out, I'm calling Parker though. So I'm not gonna see me out on Cedars Road trying to lasso a cow. So, all right, girls, you wanna go? Why is it that you want to go to university? You kind of have to. We're going to talk about this, it's okay. But the interviews are absolutely different. So, why nursing and not something else?
I chose nursing because, like I said, working at the nursing home has taught me what it means to be there for others and care for others, and they need somebody too.
I would want to go to nursing because it's nice to help somebody on like their worst day. Like one of our residents was having a really bad day yesterday, really bad, and it's just nice to try to cheer them up. And same in like the hospital, someone could be in the ER having the worst day of their life, and you're their nurse, and you can brighten their day a little bit.
Yeah, with very giving people. Trent, I think you're last. Finish us up here. Why do you want to be a farmer? What led you into that pathway?
So my family is big in agriculture. They've done it for generations, and I like farming because I enjoy working on the tractors, driving them, planting, watching it all grow, and taking care of it. And a lot of people think that it's just driving a tractor around pretty much, but it's not. I mean, sometimes you go turn the key and it doesn't start, or something's wrong, and the computer doesn't want to work, and we have to sit there and fix it and figure it out. So it's something different every day because we don't always know what's going to happen, and every year's different, and I can enjoy it.
So, hopefully, and any time I put them on the spot in this interview, you kind of have to read between the lines a little bit with what they're saying. So hopefully some of those thematic elements that have come through are things like country, they want to be in the military, serve other people, the nursing, and wanting to help others, the empathy side of things, and the fact that our kids, they really do value one another. And I heard more than once things like relationship that they have with folks. Family was a theme that I would say. You heard Trent say, they've had generations of farmers, and he wants to follow in those family footsteps of running a farm. So it's not just every day walking in there going, what are these kids going to do? What pathway are we going to put them on? But what do they value as well, and how can we match their values? So thanks. That's all I have for you.
Thank you, Mr. Ferrell, as always, and thank you for bringing these talented young men and women to our Rotary Club. And ladies and gentlemen, you guys that are here today, these things I hear you talk about, if you look at all these people out here, that's what they're all. They're all here because they like giving back to the community in many ways, and they all have, and the ones that aren't here too. And we hope that having you here and seeing some of these things, that someday as you get out of school and enter the workforce, that you'll keep things in mind. We'd love to have you come back someday and become Rotarians, because it's a great way to give back, and that's one thing I like about this organization.